Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's HBCU Game Day, and spring is slowly starting to spring into our lives. Tell your mama we on the air. Your mama cannot be calling. I know she's watching.
That was an alarm.
Your mother cannot be calling the show. I'm Tolly Carr. My partner, Simone Stanley, and family joining us today. Look, man, we're slowly starting to get into it. Baseball is creeping into the headlines. We had some big classics this past weekend, the Andre Dawson. We had a big softball tournament at Alabama State. We're going to have a big one coming here to Atlanta. Simone will correct me.
Lawrenceville.
Lawrenceville. Oh, yeah, it's going to be Graham and Fam. That's coming up. But we got to talk a little baseball here first, Simone. The HBCU Legacy Bowl just passed, and the biggest news out of that was Davius Richard, the all-everything quarterback from North Carolina Central, suffered a fractured ankle in that game while running the ball. Not in the pocket, but he was running the ball, and his coach during his time in North Carolina Central, Trei Oliver, had something to say about that, and he was not pleased. Simone, what did Trei Oliver say?
He said, I promise he would not have played if I knew that those dumb blank coaches were going to run him. He should never have left the pocket. You want to run? Hand it off to one of those All-American backs. Make it make sense.
All right, hold on. Read it like Simone would have said it, because you just read it. Give us the Simone version in those same words.
You know, I don't want to, put my inflection on Trey, but what I would have said was, I promise he would not have played in that game if I knew those dumb beep coaches were going to run him. He should never have left the pocket. You want to run him, hand it off to one of those many All-American backs. Make it make sense. Period. And you know when somebody say make it make sense, it don't make any sense.
Yeah, so the Team Gaither there, that was coached by Larry Scott from Howard University and Coach Dr. Alvin Parker from Virginia Union. So Coach Oliver and, the next time they see Howard, that might be a storyline heading into the game. But the biggest thing there is Davius Richard. He's trying to put on, show the NFL that he can be a quarterback at the next level. We have not had a HBCU quarterback drafted into the NFL since 2006. Davius Jackson from Alabama State, rest in peace, went to the Vikings that year. You never want to see a guy hurt, but Richard had a lot riding on the line. Was it too much to be playing at that level in an actual game? We always hear about, people don't want to participate in the combine, the Pro Bowl. They got rid of the actual football game aspect of it because of the risk of injury. Was this a situation, Simone, where he needed to go out and show what he could do in the game, or was it too big of a risk?
I think he should have played. I don't think he should have been executing plays like that. I don't think he should have been using his legs like that. But I do think he should have played in the game. The reason why we have the HBCU Legacy Bowl is because HBCU players haven't been getting the same looks when it comes to the NFL draft. So that's the whole point of the HBCU Legacy Bowl. And like you said, a quarterback hasn't been drafted since 2006. That's going on almost 20 years.
Do the math.
18 years. And we've had a lot of talented quarterbacks in the past couple of years playing HBCU football that didn't get a chance. Maybe a mini camp chance at least. So if I'm Davius Richard, I would be believing that I want to get as many chances for exposure that I can. This game is on NFL Network. The Combine is on NFL Network. That's a national platform, a national stage. I don't think he should have been running the ball like that. One thing we already know is he can use his legs. But I do think.
And let's be real. For quarterbacks who are, kind of have that asterisk of athlete beside their name, everybody knows they can run.
Exactly.
That's not what they're looking for.
That's not the question, right?
They're looking for what can you do in the pocket. I don't think there's a general manager that sees a young, let's just call it what it is, a black, fast quarterback and think to himself, I wonder if he can run.
Yeah, I don't even think that was the point of.
We got over that hurdle.
Davius appearing in the bowl game to show off his legs. We've seen the legs a million times. The question is usually with quarterbacks on any level in these all-star games is showing, can you complete all those throws? Can you go through your progression?
Can you resist the urge to run? We know you can run. Can you resist? Can you not speed yourself up? Can you not just rely on, what your natural instincts might be to evade the pocket? How can you stay in the pocket, step up in the pocket with that pressure? So that was probably the best thing that they could have seen. But, it's football. It's a tough. They say basketball is a contact sport. Football is a violent sport, and injuries are going to happen. So we definitely hate to see that. More news in the SWAC this time, coming over from the MEAC and Davius Richard. Oh, but before that, Simone, you have on your Philadelphia Eagle green. You had hopes, and not that they're dashed, but you had hopes of Richard being a number 3 quarterback on your squad.
Yeah, Richard has drawn a lot of comparisons to Jalen Hurts. A lot of the Eagle scouts have seen Davius Richard a few times, checked him out a couple of times. And again, they're saying that the recovery is about 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 6 months. 6 months at the latest would put us around August. Training camp would be fully underway. That's obviously well past the draft, but I do think that Davius put a lot up already on camera and on tape. That he still has a shot at making a team.
And one of the things about fits, a lot of times, if you're going to be the backup or a third-string quarterback, it's about going to an organization where your skill set matches the number 1 or the number 2, because when they run their system, if it's a drop-back system and you're just out there running, that's not a good fit. But if your skill set matches who the starter is, and when you get a chance to take reps, you can kind of fill the same shoes, not that he's Jalen Hurts yet, but, that could be a good fit. And those are the type of things they look for personnel-wise.
Yep.
All right. Now let's get to the news that I kind of jumped the gun on a little bit. Eric Dooley does not remain unemployed for long. Now, his time as the Southern University head coach was short, to say the least. After one season, we went through that earlier. God, was that this year? Was that we had so much SWAC drama? I can't remember now.
That was, yeah.
Was it 2023 or 24 on the calendar? I think it was 23 when they got rid of him after the season. But anyway, he's going back to home. He played at Grambling University. It was announced this week he will return to the G as their offensive coordinator, a role that he served in from 2014 to 2017. His second year there at Grambling, Grambling State averaged 41.3 points per game. He was there the last time Grambling went to the Celebration Bowl, the last time they won a SWAC championship. Eric Dooley was the offensive coordinator, and it was the success he had at Grambling that launched his head coaching career, moving on to Prairie View A&M before going to Southern. So this news, and about a week before that, Fred McNair is back. He's at Southern University. So when you look at the SWAC, we've had the resurrection of Jackson State about 4 or 5 seasons ago. They had been the sleeping giant. FAMU, during their last run in the MEAC, was just trying to get it together. They got to the SWAC, things were rolling, and Willie Simmons really had that train on track actually before they got to the SWAC. But it had been a while before FAMU had really done its thing like they're doing now. So I think it's great, Simone, when you have the Giants in the SWAC doing giant-type things. Jackson State, FAMU doing their thing. Not that Grambling and Southern had fallen off, but it had been some seasons. It had been some seasons since they were winning SWAC championships and going. Southern's never been to the Celebration Bowl, but Grambling had made some appearances there. I like the move of having these former head coaches, names that you recognize, names that people get excited about, joining the staffs, especially at Grambling and Southern. Your thoughts on Dooley being back and Fred McNair after his whole tumultuous offseason?
I like it as well. Just because things don't pan out for you as a head coach doesn't mean that you don't have that expertise on whichever side of the ball that you thrive on, offense or defense. And we see it all the time on all levels. Guys in the NFL, they excel at being an offensive coordinator. They excel at being a defensive coordinator. Once they get a head coaching job, take on more duties, things don't work well, and they go back to, their room where they excel. So I think this is a good move for Eric Dooley.
Yeah, we see that a lot in the NFL. You and I both live in Atlanta. I know you're not a Falcons fan, but
you're not either.
I'm trying to come over. I'm trying to join the fray. I'm trying. But their last coach, Arthur Smith, was highly regarded as an offensive coordinator. But when he became head coach and some of the plays he was calling from that standpoint, because he still was the play caller, that they went unfiltered. There was nobody to say, you know what, we're not going to throw the ball to the tight end to then have the tight end throw the ball. Like, that's a crazy play. When you have a head coach, you know, they can reject those plays. And I'm not saying that anybody needs to reject Dooley, but
you're also taking on more duties as a head coach.
When you're able to just focus.
Just focus on that side of the ball. You don't have to worry about personnel decisions. You don't have to worry about managing the clock, managing your challenges, all the other things that go along with being the head coach.
And that's changed since the last time Dooley was an offensive coordinator. It's probably not as much at Grambling and Southern as we see, you know, in the SEC and some of the Power 5 schools. But, I mean, you got players who are like, hey, down the road, they said I can get another $5K on my NIL deal.
Right.
I don't think I'm going to be. You know, you got to constantly re-recruit the players that are already on your roster, and that's just another thing on the plate of a head coach that maybe you don't have to worry as much about as a coordinator. So it's going to be interesting. I'm here for Grambling and Southern having knockout years, FAMU, Jackson State having knockout seasons, and we get to the end of the year and we just have, you know, the Bayou Classic is like winner is going to, you know, go to the SWAC championship game. FAMU and Jackson don't play in the Orange Blossom Classic now. You know, that game when they meet later in the season will have implications as opposed to week one. So I love it, but they still got to get out there and they got to play. All right, let's talk a little baseball now. Over the weekend, we had the Andre Dawson Classic. We're excited about FAMU and Grambling playing in Lawrenceville.
Yes,
not Atlanta. Outside of Atlanta, coming up this weekend. The Andre Dawson, it was pretty exciting. In Florida, had some HBCUs down there. A&T got in the mix. We'll talk about the Aggies in a minute. Let's start with Grambling. So some of your takeaways from Gram Fam over the weekend.
So Grambling, we had some history almost being made. So Cameron Buford, he is the SWAC preseason player of the year.
Cam from Graham.
I like that. So he's a senior infielder. He tied Grambling's all-time home run record at 37 career home runs. If he hits one more, there's so many games to go, he's going
to get that.
Yeah, he's going to get it. He's going to be the all-time home run record leader at Grambling State University, a program that has been historically great in baseball, putting out a lot of baseball greats. So having his name cemented in Grambling history, that means a lot.
All right, talk to our viewers out there, Simone. We talk a lot about the path to the pros in football. You know, some positions are easier than others on the defensive side. You know, linemen, you know, quarterback skill positions can be a little harder. In basketball, look, we only got one HBCU player, Rob Covington, that's in the NBA right now. More opportunities in baseball because of the minor leagues. The rosters are so big in Major League Baseball. What is the path like from kids, you know, wanting to make it to the pros, whether it's, you know, minor leagues, big leagues, for baseball?
I think of course, it's not as great as a path, of course, if you're going to a bigger school, but I think that the path is still strong there, and especially from Grambling, just since Davin Pierre has been the head coach there. Davin Pierre, former player for Grambling, now the head coach for Grambling, he already has helped produce MLB talent. John Garcia, he was a former catcher. He went and got drafted by the Houston Astros. This is a guy that Cameron Buford played alongside and played with. So you already know the scouts are looking at this program, and that's going to help out Cameron Buford. When it comes to the positions, obviously the position players, the defensive players, is harder, of course, for the pitchers to get as many looks as it is as an infielder, a catcher, outfielder.
And it seems like Major League Baseball has at least made some efforts. There's been more exposure, you know, games on the MLB Network. You've actually been a part of some of those broadcasts. So we always hear about, you know, the declining numbers of African Americans in the sport of baseball. Simone, I think it's a good look, you know, when MLB at least puts their hand in and at least tries to do something from the exposure standpoint.
Yeah, and that's a lot. I know all of our focus is always on the football side, but there's a lot of tournaments that the MLB is helping to put on. We have the Cactus Jack Classic that just had its second year earlier this season. And then the Andre Dawson Classic, the end of the year All-Star Games. HBCU Swingman is going to be back for a second season this year. And then you have the RBI programs, which they call Reviving Baseball and Inner City programs. So that's stuff that's not being plastered on the major network, and that's not promoted as heavy, but that's that behind the scenes groundwork that they're doing to provide resources to those communities, provide opportunities, training, and also helping to bring back baseball programs. So we know Wilberforce University just came back after a nearly 80-year hiatus.
Wow.
And it was the Cincinnati Reds, who's a part of the RBI program, that helped restore that program and bring that program back. So a lot of work is being done. It's just not always being talked about.
Right. All right. Well, we're talking about it here at HBCU Game Day. Let's move on and talk about those Jaguars. One of the takeaways from the Andre Dawson Classic over the weekend, the pitching staff, particularly Renard Grace, he had a pretty big outing against Alabama State. Yeah,
Renard, a redshirt sophomore. So he's a young guy in the pitching staff, and he's already popping out. He's a left-handed pitcher. He pitched 6 innings, only allowing 1 hit and 0 runs, while also striking out 7 batters in their win over Alabama State. So Renard, one of those young arms that's popping out. Last year, we had 3 HBCU players drafted, and 2 of them were actually pitchers. So we're talking about the pitching numbers going up when it comes to MLB, and Renard Grace is one of those guys that's going to be on the radar early if he could continue playing like that.
And a developing story of interest.
We're on the trail.
His twin brothers on the team.
We're investigating, y'all.
Yeah,
we're investigating.
Yeah. I think we have a pitcher-catcher combo, brotherly combo. We've got to let the season play out,
right,
and see who gets some burn there behind the mound. Behind the plate, and see how that works. But it looks like
we think he has a twin. I think
no, it is his twin.
Yes, his twin, Richard.
Yeah.
But we gotta
see if he's pitching, catching the same
at the same time. So if you are part of the Grace family, we know we have a lot. That Southern baseball fan base is huge. So if the Grace family, if y'all are watching, let us know in the comments. We wanna spotlight the Grace twins.
Yeah, we need Southern to get on this side of the Mississippi River. Come on, come on to Lawrenceville, play some baseball. All right, let's talk about FAMU. FAMU will be here in Atlanta via Lawrenceville. They're going to take on Grambling in a weekend series at Coolray Field. Let's talk about FAMU baseball, Simone. They are 4-3 overall. Had a pretty good weekend at the Andre Dawson Classic. Just lost 1 game there, really outscoring their opponents. Had some explosions at the plate there. And they're going to be in Georgia not only for the Classic this weekend with Grambling. They're also going to play Mercer in Macon for a couple of weeks. So they are got a lot of FAMU alumni in the Atlanta metro area. You will have plenty of opportunities to check out the Rattlers this week.
Yeah, so FAMU, they went 2-1 in the Andre Dawson Classic. 2 big storylines to watch. One of their transfers, he's a senior infielder, Trei Oliver. He transferred from the University of West Florida. He's already having an immediate impact. These are the defending SWAC champions we're talking about. He has 7 hits, a .778 batting average, 5 RBIs, and scored 2 runs that weekend. This is a transfer. So FAMU, I know they dropped 1 to Prairie View. Everybody dropped to Prairie View. We're going to get to that later.
Not everybody.
In the Andre Dawson Classic, everyone has dropped. We're going to get to that later. The point is, Trei coming into the defending SWAC champs already having an immediate impact, and that's what you want to see from your transfers. Transfers coming in, popping off already. Also, another.
And this for the defending SWAC champs, like adding
that kind of punch, that kind of power. Exactly. But also Ty Jackson, he's a first-team preseason outfielder. He was battling an ankle injury this offseason, so it was a lot of questions of when he was going to be ready, if he's going to be ready. He broke and dislocated his ankle. But
we got 2 broken ankles this episode.
Right, and two stars in HBCU sports.
Hate to see it.
But Ty Jackson is back. So he came out, he had a good showing. And the vibes are immaculate right now at FAMU. Following their social media page, the chemistry is there. They have a lot going on social media. They do this thing where they put the camera down low and they're all getting in the camera. you know. So.
Okay, the defending champs, where do they rank on the Simone swag meter? Like, when you just look at a team swag, how high is FAMU? I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
Okay. Before today, I would have put FAMU at number 1, okay? But Prairie View, their social media team is killing it right now, okay? They had a shot of them on the plane, and it was just like them chilling on the plane, and the caption was something like Panthers on the plane, like, you know, alluding to snakes on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
They have a lot of clever social media captions that's kind of like effortless and cool. I love FAMU, but I'm taking Prairie View because it's like relaxed, cool. Okay. Like FAMU is kind of in your face. Yeah, we're having fun. It's all vibes. Great. Prairie View is kind of like, yeah. You know what I mean?
All right. So not doing too much.
Yeah.
Like doing it, but not doing too much.
Not doing too much.
It would be like your social media versus mine. I would be doing too much.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I was doing too much.
I don't always.
It's more candy.
Right.
It's more candy is what I mean.
I don't always throw shade your way.
But you know FAMU, their social team all around is real spicy. They're going to throw some shade now.
Oh, yeah.
Very spicy.
Yeah. All right. I don't throw shade at Simone, but I would like, Miles, let's come back here to the wide shot, Miles. How do y'all feel about the Blazers today?
They know how they feel about yours because they see it every video.
I think we're coordinating a little. I like this color combination. I like the blue and the green. See, in other content that we produce, Simone says, okay, I wear the blazer too much. I don't even take this home. It's hanging up here at the HBCU Gameday studio. Before we do content, I just go back there and put it on.
Is that the same one, or you have 2 blue ones?
Oh, I have probably 4 blue ones, but yeah, this is the one I leave at work, and I just put on like Mr. Rogers.
We know because they see it every video.
But Simone gives me such a hard time, and then she showed up today with not 1 but 2 blazers. You had to decide which one you were going to wear.
But I don't always come with the same blazer on. I switch it up for the people.
People don't care about what I got on. It's like either we talking about something they're interested in or they're not. I'm past that.
We know
I'm past that. I know I'm just the old curmudgeon on your phone right now. You don't care what I have on. But you look nice. I love blazers. Who would have thought?
We know.
All right, let's talk about those Aggies. You know, this Aggie blue. I'm not an Aggie, but you know, that Aggie blue, how it pops. All right, they are 6-1. You know, people like to talk about, you know, they get excited when A&T is competing against HBCUs after leaving the MEAC, leaving the Big South. They haven't been in the HBCU conference for a minute. But so far, so good. 6-1. They were 2-1 at the Andre Dawson Classic. And not just trying to be funny, Simone. I think people just are generally excited when they see A&T taking on other HBCUs. It gives us that nostalgic feeling.
It gives the people what they want. It gets them going. But yes, A&T made their Andre Dawson Classic debut. And I love the fact that A&T was included because they don't play in an HBCU conference. So it's only 2 HBCU baseball conferences, the SIAC and the SWAC. The MEAC baseball teams that are still participating in baseball, they're playing in the CAA. So North Carolina A&T is not playing in the HBCU conference, but they are still being included in these HBCU tournaments, which is really good. So they made their debut, and I think they'll get invited back after going 2-1. So they beat Southern.
They showed up.
They beat Grambling. They dropped the Prairie View. Everybody dropped the Prairie View. we gonna talk about it.
Not everybody.
But A&T, last MLB draft, Xavier Meacham was one of 3 players drafted. He is a right-handed pitcher from the Aggies. He went on to go to the Miami Marlins. So a lot of eyes are going to be on the Aggies baseball program, knowing what they can produce.
All right. They play Wake Forest today. If you're watching this on Tuesday, the 27th. Today's also National Retro Day.
Huh?
What
is that?
I look on social media and I see
you must be on AOL.
Every day is a day, and today's National Retro Day. But if you're watching this on Tuesday, the 27th, they host Wake Forest tonight. So an ACC opponent is coming to East Greensboro War Memorial Stadium. I think that's pretty cool, Simone. Baseball is a little more forgiving in terms of, you know, hey, that big school is never going to come to us. In football, they've done some things in basketball with the SWAC and the Pac-12, what was the Pac-12. So we did see some really cool moments there. But in baseball, it's a little closer to normal than other sports. to have a bigger school come to your place. And it's really a great opportunity for the A&T fans to come in there, see a very, very good team from the ACC, Wake Forest, traditionally very good in baseball. And the Aggies will get to shoot their shot tonight.
Mm-hmm. Batter, swing.
You did not give the vibes that you had a lot of hopes.
I'm sorry, you went on a long tangent. My bad.
Well, Miles just keeps me locked on my camera here, so I be trying to come back to talk to you, and Miles is just keep talking. But I think
baseball in Greensboro is really great. Obviously, I'm from Greensboro 336.
Oh, that's right. That's right, Jamestown.
But between North Carolina A&T and UNCG, it's a low-key baseball, low-key baseball hub. We got the Grasshoppers. Minor league.
All right, trivia. Greensboro trivia. What were the Grasshoppers, the minor league team in Greensboro? What were they called before they were the Grasshoppers?
The Greensboro Geckos.
Geckos? No, they're the Greensboro Bats.
Oh, I would have never guessed that.
You don't remember that from your childhood?
Nope.
Okay, I'm so much older. I'm almost double. Are you 25 yet? Are you 25?
Yes, 26.
26. All right, so I'm like 50, so I'm like double your number.
Are you 50?
I will be this year. So back in the day, I used to work in radio and television in that market, so I did a lot of commercials, a lot of coverage, Greensboro Bats. So before they built it's no longer new, but the new stadium in Greensboro, they used to play at War Memorial Stadium, and now
War Memorial Stadium. A lot went down there.
Yeah, a lot going on. East Greensboro, but that's where the Aggies play now. So a former minor league stadium, that's their home, and taking on Wake Forest on Tuesday night. That's going to be pretty cool. All right, let's talk about Prairie View A&M as we continue on with the baseball conversation. They are 6-1 overall. They are 6-0 versus HBCUs. They had a great weekend at the Andre Dawson Classic. Now, Simone has a point of contention for this little part right here, the third bullet point.
Yes.
I put context in there that they lost to Houston. It wasn't a pretty game. They lost 27-1. Because I just wanted the people to know it's not any shade against Prairie View, but it's like, okay, man, they're 6-1. They beat all the HBCUs. How good are they?
Because the point is how they stack up in the SWAC, how they stack up against other HBCUs.
But it's just context because, we get excited. We think we'll be world beaters. We beat all the HBCUs.
Petty.
Like, all right, let's go. We're going to make some noise in the tournament. I'm just saying it was context. That's all.
Petty.
It was not petty. Who gets petty in baseball?
Obviously you.
No, that is a false accusation.
So I sent Tolly the stat that they're 6-0 against HBCUs. I come in today, and then there's that, but they lost. They got blown out.
I just wanted people to see the context of what their season has been. Let's talk about the 6 and not the 1. They ran through all the competition at the Andre Dawson Classic.
Yeah, so starting the season off, they ran through everyone at the Cactus Jack Classic. They were the Cactus Jack Classic champions. They go on to the Andre Dawson Classic, sweep the table again. They beat A&T. They beat FAMU, the defending SWAC champs, and they beat Alabama State. Prairie View, like I said, the vibes are good. They're predicted right now to finish second in the West, according to the SWAC preseason predictions. But right now, they are the top cats. So they have a deep pitching staff led by junior right-handed pitcher Michael Dews. He has 9 strikeouts right now. But they have a deep pitching staff, a deep rotation that can keep them hot in these tournaments where there's back-to-backs and there's several games where, you need depth in your pitching staff. But they also have a lot of heavy hitters as well. Garrison Weiss, he's a junior outfielder. He's leading the team right now with a .444 batting average. He has 9 runs and 6 RBIs. So a lot of guys making plays.
All right, so we've talked about this earlier in the season or actually right before the Cactus Jack, before the season got underway. Would it be a Bethune-Cookman FAMU rematch in the SWAC championship? There's a lot of season to go.
Right.
They're going to play 50 million games before the end of the year. But Prairie View right now, Simone, right now, I would say they are in that spot of, who might win the SWAC this year. You cannot have that conversation and not mention Prairie View.
Yes, you can't have that conversation in February.
We're trying to drum up excitement here.
Yeah. But as things stand right now, Prairie View, they have beaten everyone. They look good. Like I said, they have a deep room of arms. They have a lot of heavy hitters. They have the vibes, chemistry. That's a big thing, especially when you get to tournament time. Prairie View is looking like one of those top teams. FAMU still looks good right now. If I'm looking at the West and East, I'm looking at FAM, and I'm looking at Prairie View.
Well, when you look at all the sports, in football and basketball, a team can start hot, and then people can kind of figure out their tendencies. As the year goes on, film study. You have all these theories about why a team that starts out hot might not make it to the championship or the field catches up to them. Baseball is a little different because it is so long. What are some things, Simone, that kind of factor into the grind and makes it hard to, be the hot team in February and carry that all the way through the end of the season?
Well, one, obviously momentum is a big thing, but also, you have a lot of new guys. We talked about some of the younger pitchers. We talked about some transfers. We talked about some younger hitters. Once these other teams and coaches figure out some tendencies, they figure out, what pitches they hit well against, what pitches they don't hit well against, that can start to catch up to you. So really just making adjustments, figuring out another team's tendencies, that's going to be one of the biggest things.
All right, but it is an exciting time because your team can still be in it. It is just February. The temperatures are going to catch up. It's going to be great in the weeks and months to come to sit out in the stands, enjoy a little popcorn, watch some baseball, but things are off to a great start right now for Prairie View. Things looking good for FAMU. Things are looking good for North Carolina A&T. I'm still excited about Wake Forest coming to East Greensboro tonight. I'm hoping the Aggies will have a respectable showing. But Simone, each year, there's almost at least one chance that we get to write a story. This team knocked off an SEC squad, or they knocked off a team from the AC. At least once a year in baseball, I feel like we get that, bam, that big moment.
Yeah, we have a lot of upsets that could happen. You're talking a lot about Wake and A&T. Grambling, hungry for a win. They only have one win right now this season. Grambling playing Arkansas Razorbacks tonight. Then you have FAMU in town-ish. They're in Georgia playing Mercer. So an upset could happen. Also, we're on the watch. We're on Cameron Buford watch because any given night, these upcoming nights, Cameron Buford could become the all-time home run record leader in Grambling State University history.
It might happen this weekend at the Bill Guard Classic.
Yeah, it could. I hope it happens this weekend because I'm going to be there. So I really hope it happens this weekend.
What makes that classic so cool? At Coolray Field, outside of Atlanta Metro, Lawrenceville. What makes that so cool?
I think the environment. So the two teams obviously have those ties to the Atlanta Braves. You have Ralph Garr and Bill Lucas representing FAMU, and Grambling, two guys that went on and had great careers for the Atlanta Braves. So that's where the tournament comes from. But it's just the culture. Like Grambling, they have a strong baseball culture. Their fans are going to be there, also FAMU. But just the energy that those two teams bring. The FAMU, again, they bring a lot of energy in their dugout. Their team plays with a lot of energy. And then you have Grambling playing with all the swag. So I think it's just really two good programs that brings a lot of excitement. And the rivalry is born because now that this is the fourth year.
You said it's born.
Born.
Okay. I thought you said boring. I was like, it's not boring.
This is the fourth year of the Ralph Garr Bill Lucas Classic. So when you have those two teams that's just facing each other all the time in Atlanta, a neutral location, it's now a rivalry. FAMU, they're owning Grambling right now. Grambling has only beat them one time in this series, and I believe it's been 9 games. I think it's been 3 games each season, and Grambling has only won once.
And they played they met in the Andre
and they
Dawson
lost
this weekend.
to FAM.
Yeah.
So
don't let that deter you, though.
No. I'm just saying, we want to, Ralph Garr, he be at the games. You know what I'm saying? He be on the sidelines. We got to make Ralph Garr proud.
And the facilities, like, it's a cool place to watch a game.
Yeah.
At Coolray.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to, no pun intended there, but, like, really nice facility.
You did mean the pun.
I didn't. I didn't.
We just need to, I just want it to be, we're rooting for everybody. I want it to be a little bit more balanced. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get, Grandma, let's get a little wins. Let's get some wins. At least break the whole run record in Atlanta.
Do something. Come on. But weather was great last year. Great facility. A lot of food. A lot of things around. Just make a little short trip to Lawrenceville. Look, on the weekend, the traffic's not bad on 85. Just 30 minutes outside of Atlanta, right?
Stop lying. You know
40?
the traffic be bad. Stop lying. Everybody going out of town, visit their friends.
It's not bad. It's not bad. But seriously, in less than an hour, you'll be there if you're coming through Atlanta or if you live here.
Yes.
Can't you tell?
I'll be there regardless.
Can't you tell when Simone can't even make it to the studio?
I was supposed to have this outfit ready, but
talking about traffic.
They played me.
Okay.
You know the little football jacket I have with the footballs?
Yeah,
it's a baseball version.
Is this made by your mother?
No, it's made by this other lady.
Okay.
And I was like, can I get the baseball version? And she was like, sure. Read my message a week ago.
It ain't gonna be ready. Well, all right. Well, you'll still look nice. Just pick out your favorite blazer. You'll kill it. All right. That's it for HBCU Game Day on a Tuesday. Football, baseball headlines. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Make sure you stop on by HBCUGameday.com. We got a lot of basketball this week. The Scout AA tournament is underway. We'll have coverage there. SIAC is starting next week. The MEAC and the SWAC, they are getting down to, who's going to be the top seeds. It's that late season crunch time. So a lot of hoops going on as well. For Simone Stanley, I'm Tolly Carr. For our guy Miles, Big Miles in the back, we appreciate you directing. And we will talk to you guys a little later. Say bye, Simone.
Bye.